Hello guys, sorry I haven't uploaded in a while. Today we are going to be doing a cuphead tier list, all weapons and charms. So we got must use, used most of the time, useful in some scenarios, it exists, useless. Alright, start. The charge shot is good. It does really good damage. Really good damage. At least if it's charged. If it's charged, it does the most damage that a regular shot does. If it's uncharged, I can never do the uncharged. It's the weakest projectile in the game, probably. I'm probably wrong on that. But I'm only gonna be counting the charged. I'm gonna do used most of the time. It's really good. The only reason I don't put it at must use is that one, it's not really good at some bosses. And two, it doesn't hold when you charge. That gets annoying. Alright, next up is the chaser. The chaser does according to the game, below average damage. But it goes towards the enemy. So sometimes I'm putting useful in some scenarios. You can shoot at the enemy while also dodging the projectiles if they're all over the place. I'm looking at you, Moonshine Mob. Alright, so for the two of these have been shots. This one is a charm. Coffee. The coffee automatically fills the supers. I probably said that very wrong. It exists, I guess. I don't really use it much. So yeah, it exists. Next up is another charm, the heart thing. It gives you an extra HP. But it weakens your attacks. Yeah, I'm gonna put it exists. Well, I'm gonna put it at useless. It is actually useless. Just get the heart ring. It costs the same amount of coins. You can get 3 HP from the heart ring. And it doesn't weaken your projectiles. Alright, back to the shots. We have the lobber. The lobber is usually only good against platform bosses. Agony Carnation, Rumor Honeybottoms, and Rumor Honeybottom, I think. And, of course, everyone's favorite, Grim Matchstick. Grim Matchstick, wait a second. Lobber's good. Lobber's good. It does the second highest amount of damage in the game. First one obviously being the charge shot, as I explained earlier. But since it's only good for like 3 bosses, I'm gonna put it useful in some scenarios. Yeah. Back to the charms. We have the pea sugar. When you jump, it automatically does a parry move. I usually don't use it like for regular like levels, but in the mausoleums, it's really good. Or if you're trying to get the achievement for doing 5 parries at once, it's good. So I'm gonna put it in useful in some scenarios. Alright, next up we have the classic, the pea shooter. The pea shooter. Pea shooter is the first shot you get in the game, and it does average damage. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm gonna put it in it exists. I don't usually use it like for later bosses. For Isle 1 bosses, it's good. For that, I'm actually going to put in useful in some scenarios. So yeah, Isle 2, 3, Inkwell Hell, and Isle 4, the DLC, might be good for like 1 or 2 phases of bosses. But other than that, it's really only good for the first Isle. Sorry, pea shooter. Just how it goes. The roundabout. The roundabout does good damage, and if you shoot it backwards, it goes across the entire screen, like it roundabouts, and then boom, goes across the entire screen. It is a screen clear. It's really good, and it's the only easy way I could beat the second phase of the Moonshine Mob, but use most of the time. Yeah. The smoke dash. It's the first charm some people get. The other first charm available is the heart, but we don't talk about the useless charms and shots. Anyways, it's really good. Your dash, it's a smoke dash. It makes you invincible and invisible for like half a second. But other than that, it's really good. Used most of the time. Very helpful. Spread shot. Must use. For a bunch of phases, like the last phase of Peppy the Clown, it is very good. And yes, it has short range, but if you get all of the spreads to hit, it does very good damage. And when the EX move, if you get all of those projectiles to hit, it makes some boss phases a joke. So yeah, must use. The double heart thing. It's basically like the older sibling of the heart. I'm gonna put in it exists. It gives you 2 HP, but also weakens your projectiles. I don't know if it weakens it even more or just weakens. But yeah, it exists. I've used it sometimes. Next up, whetstone. Let your first parry be an attack. Does absolutely terrible damage. Useless. The only way this is even kinda useful is if like the treetop trouble run and gun level treetop trouble if you're climbing up and one of the bugs like flies like above you, you can whetstone that and it'll get rid of it. That's the only way it's even kinda useful, but still useless. The Astral Charm. Bam! Must use. Yep, lets you play as Miss Chalice. She has 4 HP, double jump, and invincibility roll. Definitely a must use. The Broken Relic. While in its broken relic state, it does literally nothing. You might as well just have the charm spot empty. Converge. Converge is decent. If you push the lock button, it converges, and like all 3 of the shots go like into the middle, and it pierces enemies, which means it goes through the enemy instead of breaking like as soon as it hits. It's okay. Guess it'd be useful in some scenarios. I don't really use it much. Crack shot. It's definitely a must use. Then you shoot it. I mean, like, it's good. It does good damage. But if it doesn't hit anything, it cracks and goes towards a nearby enemy. Now, yes, the cracked shot is weaker than the uncracked shot, but it's still really good. It's like the chaser. It's like Chaser, but better. Much better. The Cursed Relic. Useless. It makes your shot random every time you press the shoot button. It makes you only have 1 HP, and it's a weak combination of some of the charms. The Divine Relic. Definitely used most of the time. It bumps you back up to 3 HP. And the shots are still random, but it's a combination of all of the charms, except for the Astral Cookie. Used most of the time. It's good. Well, yeah. Heart Ring. Must use. Gives you another HP on your 1st, 3rd, and 6th parry. If the heart ring didn't exist, the regular heart would be up more. But it exists, so it's useless. And now we have the supers. The super arts. Starting with Miss Chalice's first super art. The spiral shot thing. It's used like okay. It's like Cuphead's in Mug. It's like Cuphead's first. What? Oh, stop. It's like Cuphead's first super art, but it goes up and down instead of left or right. It's good against some bosses, so I'm gonna put in useful in some scenarios, like the Phantom Express, Moonshine Mob, for all phases except number 2. Yeah. Miss Chalice's second super art. Oh, I like to call it the Heart Pal. That's probably its actual name. I don't know. I'm gonna put in must use. It grants you basically another HP. Very good. Miss Chalice's third super art. The Ghostly Barrage. Now that I know it's its name. Ghostly Barrage 1 lasts an eternity. Stop doing that. No. And, it follows you up and down. It can either go right or left, and it damages the enemy a bunch of times. I'm gonna go ahead and use most of the time. Now, Cuphead's for super art, which I explained before. It's like Miss Chalice's first super art, but it goes left or right. I'm put it use most of the time. It's really good. Like it really good to do does really good damage. I'm pretty sure. So yeah. Cuphead's second super art, Invincibility. Useful in some scenarios. It's really good if you're doing a pacifist run on the run and gun levels. Really good. The Cuphead's third and final super art is the Ghost Spirit. I'm gonna put it in exists. What? Yeah, I know. I just don't really know how to control it. It always just goes up screen and I waste all 5 of my super cards. It's time for the final shot and the final thing on this tier list. The twist up. It goes up. If you get all 3 of the little tornado things to hit, it does good damage. But it's really hard to do it when it goes up. It exists. I'm not going to put it in useless because it's useful in some scenarios. Like if the enemy is up, it goes up and hits the enemy. So yeah, this is my final tier list. Alright. Do you agree with me, or would you make it different? I don't know, but I hope you enjoyed the video. Goodbye.